Be confident, be flexible, don't give up, sorority, trust in other women, step outside your comfort zone, think about your community, and always be yourself. If we can put this together, I believe the keywords, it will be like this. So let's go for the questions. We have one here from Rosimeire Barbosa. Congratulations, Dr. Priscilla. Entering the private sector was always in your plans, or it was an opportunity that came along the way?
Mm-hmm. Okay, good question, Mary. So I actually, when I was working on my master's and my doctorate, I was developing my research at Embrapa. So my dream was to work there. So I wanted to go through this, through the process and get a job at Embrapa. But as life progressed, I didn't have the opportunity to get in one of those selection process to get in there. I started my teaching job at the university, and my mind started to open up because really I never had the intention to join the private sector, to be honest, before finishing my PhD. But then my mind started to open up, and then I said, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. I'll send my CV. And it worked really well. It was a very, how can I say, engaging selection process. I felt valued, and I felt that I would have, many interesting opportunities to grow and develop. So I'm glad that I opened myself to do that. But I'll be honest to tell you that it was not my intention, before. But yeah.
Thank you. We have another one now from Rosimara Barbosa. We have twins, right? So congratulations, Dr. Ester, for the beautiful presentation. Do you believe that in the post-pandemic scenario, hybrid work will be a reality? And what are the advantages and the disadvantages?
Yeah, I think we will move from some positions for the hybrid work. Of course, we do have some jobs that you cannot do hybrid work. Like sometimes you have to go to the field, so you won't be able to do that. But for some of us, it will be a reality. And the advantages is a little bit what I mentioned. You can stay home, you can work from a different city, you can have more opportunities. We can hire people that maybe wouldn't be able to be here. But then we also have a disadvantage that I have felt a lot during this year and a half working from home is I really miss seeing my colleagues. I mean, sometimes, all I could think of when I was working in the office is like, oh, I wish I could work at home today. But right now I'm like, oh, I really wish I could go to work and I could see people, and it just is hard. And also that, not just, seeing colleagues, but it brings some challenges with communication. I think you have to be way more. I don't know if it just we lose more time with being outside of the work. Sometimes I would meet Priscilla in the hallway and I'll be like, oh, this project, we've done this, and she'd be like, oh, sure, let's do this now. Now we have to schedule a meeting, and then we put two more people, and then so you kind of lose a little bit of time. So that for me is the biggest disadvantage, but it brings other good things too.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ster. We have another question now for Dr. Magan. Your strategy for reconciling family and work is wonderful. Does it always work? Have you ever broken the rules?
That's a great question. I think from my presentation, you all probably picked up, I'm definitely a rule breaker. Unfortunately, it's just in my nature. But no, that's a good question. It actually surprisingly has worked awesome. And I was struggling with this about 2 years ago where I was the mom. I was there, but here's my phone. It's like, hey, wait, I'm on email 352. Just wait. Yep. Oh, I just got a text. And I mean, it's just constant. Work is always going to be there. And I needed something that worked for me. It may not work for everybody. I have to be honest. The first day that I did it, I have my work phone and I have my personal phone. My work phone, I put into the plastic tote, and I felt, when I was pregnant, I stopped drinking caffeine. I love coffee. Coffee is my jam. And I got the shakes when I stopped coffee. The same thing happened with this exercise. When I put the phone in the tote and I couldn't touch it, I was shaking, and then I knew, okay, so I'm addicted to work. I need to pause. And it has helped. The first week, yes, I broke the rules, but I can proudly say a year into this exercise, I have not broken the rules in 352 days. So it helps, and it's able to, I'm a better mom. I'm a visible pillar. I'm not just there physically, I'm there mentally. And for my kids, my daughters even said, Mom, thank you, because we know you're here, the full self of you, and it worked. And so, yes, it works for me. Won't work for everybody, but it just helped me come that division, because I work 100% remote now. I went from living in airports, hotel rooms, and traveling in cornfields. And in May of this year, 2021, they said, hey, Megan, you are good. You could be 100% remote. Megan, extrovert, loves people, 100% remote in her basement. So I find creative ways to still connect with customers and scientists and colleagues, but I'm 100% remote. So now my exercise is even just as more critical, because I am now available 24/7 in the work world, because I have an entire room that's always plugged in, and I work with a team around the world. So when I'm sleeping, they're working still, and emails come in. And I just say that I'm happy I started this exercise a year ago, and that I'm still using it no matter the temptation today. So try it out and let me know.
Very good, Megan. Another one. Congratulations, Dr. Priscilla. Your words were wonderful. As you mentioned it in the presentation, we sometimes have the imposter syndrome. What are your advices to overcome this?
Mm-hmm. Right. So the three of us mentioned the imposter syndrome, right? Because it is real. It does happen to all women. It happens to ourselves, to women that we talk to. So I think the first thing to overcome this is to know that it's a real thing, So if you go and you look again on the example of the job posting, if you look at the job posting at any company and you question yourself, that's a sign of imposter syndrome. So, my advice is mainly for those who are not within the private company universe yet. Remember this, remember what the three of us just told you today, and be true to yourself. So I'm going to steal some of Megan's talk. And I think that what Megan means is know who you are, because you have been, a young scientist, doing your studies 24/7. And it's so painful. It's so difficult to go through a master's, through a PhD. You know this, right, Dr. Rosana? It's a lot of work, a lot of dedication. It's like 4, I don't know, up to 7 years in your life where you're just preparing yourself to do something, to get into, to a job. So how come you're not prepared, right? So just think about all the things that you can learn, because there are things that that you're working on, on a daily basis on your master's or PhD. But there are the other things that you can learn, because you can do this, right? So if there's like 2 or 3 skills that you still don't have, don't worry, you're going to be able to learn it as you need it. So just keep this in mind and go for it. Just apply for the jobs and see how it goes. Go through the interview processes. It's all going to be fine.
Perfect. Right. Let's go to the next question. Dr. Ester, what was your biggest challenge within the private sector? Do you have any advice?
I was thinking, like, what was the biggest challenge? And I think, unfortunately, I don't have anything exciting to say. But what Priscilla just said, I think this lack of trust sometimes that I had in myself. I started as a research assistant or associate in a team, and then there was this opportunity to move to become a breeder in the role that I am now in the trait integration team. And I remember the last day to apply, I called Priscilla and I was like, I cannot apply for this role. I do not have all the things that I need to. And, I just cannot. It's going to be a waste of time. And, why am I going to do this? So I think that's the biggest challenge. For me, I still have this I don't think I'm ready for this, or I shouldn't do this. And even when people say, yes, you are, or let's move to this position and let's try this, course for you to learn a different thing. In my heart, I still feel like, oh my gosh, people are so wrong. I don't know what I'm doing. And are they sure I should do this? So I think it's myself. There has not been anything else that I can think of as a bigger challenge than my own self.
Thank you, Dr. Ster. We have a lot of comments, of course, in the chat. People are really excited about the lectures. Paola Bianchi is saying thank you for your lectures, the three of you. It was such a pleasure to hear strong women encouraging us to go ahead and do not give up. It was very inspiring. Nice, Paola. Thank you. Dr. Megan, your lecture is very inspiring. I love it. You make everything seem so easy and fascinating. Rosemary Barbosa is saying that. Jean Torres, excellent presentation. What is your advice for students that want to start their career in the private sector as a breeder? You were three amazing. Dr. Megan, Ester, and Priscilla, you are amazing. I'm so glad. Jean Torres is saying that. So, what your advice for students that wants to start their career in the private sector?
Who wants to go first? So let's go in order, right? The three of us can say something, right? So I think advice. So being open to learn. So I'm gonna, take my last talk and I'll pull from there. So just be able to learn, because it's science, right? And we're always innovating and thinking about new ways of doing things, and things change so much. So just be open to learn new things, because whatever you're doing today is going to be outdated very soon. So what you're doing today is just building a very strong foundation. You have all the bases, all the foundation to learn new things. So be open to that. If you come to an interview process and you show the people in your interview panel that you were excited about learning, about innovating, about doing things differently, you have your job, guarantee.
And I think I talked a lot about that you need to innovate, you need to do new things. What Priscilla said, and we have a phrase that we use, I guess, in private sector, which is soft skills. So and sometimes I felt like during my whole academic career we never talked about soft skills. That was never mentioned. We of course had to present, right? And then practice a little bit of conversation and how to show your data and this and that. But there wasn't a lot of conversation about what we talk in the companies of soft skills. So, what Priscilla said, be prepared to learn, because most probably you're not going to know anymore, because things evolve so fast. But, communication, collaboration, resilience, those kind of things, of course, if you finish a PhD, most probably you are resilient because it is hard. But, those things, remember that sometimes we're just looking for the soft skills plus this, base, as Priscilla said, of knowledge that you have, but we focus more on the soft skills. We focus more on knowing that you want to learn instead of what you actually know.
Awesome insight. Oh, what I would tell breeders of today. So Corteva might be different, but the breeder role is transforming greatly. And we just went through a recent reorganization that is just a signal to what breeder roles will look like in the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And so what I could tell, the best advice I would give, in my opinion, is very similar, like be green and growing, and not to be focused on a single crop and not to be focused on a single curriculum. What I'm trying to say is you need to come in with more of a broader knowledge set than maybe I had 10 years ago. And that is, you don't have to know everything about coding, artificial intelligence, or technology or engineering, but you should know surface level. Like, how does it connect? How do things integrate? How do you integrate your knowledge into the current breeding system or into the current food agriculture technology system? And so I'm not saying go get another degree, go to 8 years engineering, because I'm not an engineer. I was told recently I'm an honorary engineer, so I was all proud because my best friend is an amazing engineer that had to do 4 years of calculus, and that was not for me. That's why I'm a plant scientist. But what I'm trying to say is that go find and stay up on journal articles and reading books and just keep that growth mindset activated. So you don't have to know everything about, hey, I use drones in breeding, but you should know, why do we use drones in breeding, for imaging or, seed spray or, the recent technology. You should know just a little bit about everything to be dangerous, right? But no, you should come in with a mindset that you're willing to learn, you're willing to grow together, and that you come in with more of a broader opportunity mindset. Because if you come in with a siloed mindset of, I just want to be a corn breeder and focused on corn, and there are some opportunities, but in Corteva, those are getting smaller and smaller. So I would say diversity of crops, diversity of curriculum, and just think outside the box. An activity that I do with some of my mentees, actually in Brazil, so it's exciting. But what I do is I have them develop a career roadmap. So they're breeders, PhD breeders, finishing up. Write on a sheet of paper, tell me what you want to do in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, because that's going to give you your answer of what you need for a position. And keep in mind too, when you join private industry, your PhD gets you through the door, but it's not what gets you promoted or keeps you thriving in your current position. It gets you through the door. I mean, I have a PhD in plant breeding and genetics. It got me in the door as a scientist. And today my career, as you can see, 7 relocations, dynamic, to take over in a completely different space. Crop protection and formulations. I did none of that in graduate school, I could tell you, but I'm learning from our molecular biologists and engineers. So always be open to learning and always fine tune and continually improve yourself. But most importantly, it goes back to my number one advice: know yourself, know what you want to do. Know your goals, know your vision. They can change. Mine changes every day. I'm still deciding what Dr. Magan wants to be when I grow up, because I don't know. It just could be vacation break coming up. I just want to do amazing things and start amazing areas. So we'll see. Ask me what I'm doing in January. But I just say always know yourself, but also know your limits, because you have to keep it fun. You have to have that passion, and you have to have the drive. As soon as it's not fun, you're not going to have the heart to do it. And this is a very important job to do, because you're helping feed the growing population with whatever tools and mindset and knowledge. So always be you and be green and growing.
Thank you. Thank you all. Another question for all three. What were the significant changes in dealing with work after children? New skills and difficulties. Rafaela Duarte is asking.
Okay. So yeah, let's go in order again. So I am no example, right, for that, because what I did, and I wish no women has to do what I did. So I decided to not have kids for a long time because I was afraid it was going to hurt my career. How was I going to do things? So it's not a good example. My wish is that all young scientists, around the globe, that they can decide to have kids when they want to have kids, and they can, match that with their career growth. So I had kids very late, very recently, actually. So I waited for a long time, and I have a baby at home. She's 18 months now. So the reality is when a baby comes, things change, because before, as a person on my own, I could work at whatever time I wanted until midnight, weekends, Saturdays, Sundays. Now I need to stop at 5 and go feed her and give her, a shower and put her into bed. I'm here now, but I need to have someone there, taking care of her. So it does change things. However, so there's the impact in the beginning. Oh, because you move from being this person that is very independent and can work at your own hours and do whatever you want, from this, from that to a person that has to take care of a baby that demands a lot, and and at all ages, I think they do demand, right? So what I'm learning, and I think that it's a learning process. It's different for each person. What I'm learning is, what can I do with the time that I have to work? So what do I do from 8 to 5? Because that's my work time. So I need to be focused and very smart on managing my time, because I know that at 5 I need to leave. So what maternity has given to me is the ability to better manage my time. I don't need to work until midnight. I don't need to work Saturdays and Sundays. And I just learned to be smarter about my time. Is it easy? No, it's not. It's difficult, but it's doable, because many women scientists are doing it. So why couldn't I, right?
Thank you, Priscila.
Well, I think I'll be able to answer this question in 3 months. As I said, I'm still on my maternity leave. I just had a baby in September. It's my first. I've also, like Priscilla, I kind of postponed it a little bit more than I think I should have. And when I see, we have some examples, right, Priscilla, of women in the company that had kids when they were very young. And now they're already entering college and they're basically our age, and I'm like, wow, it really didn't damage anything on their career. So I also had that thought, maybe I cannot do that. And right now I have a husband that is gonna take care of the baby when I come back. So I have a different situation with someone that has been willing to support me and just say, okay, you do your thing, and I'll take care of our family. But I really like what Magan said. I've always, I'm just what Priscilla mentioned. I could work until midnight, weekends, it doesn't matter. But I really like Megan's tip. I think I'm going to follow it, because it's very easy to get consumed. And, I just love what I do. I enjoy it a lot. I think about it most of the time. It's kind of fun. So, why stop it? But I have other priorities now. So I'm definitely going to use your tip and Priscilla's tip. It's the end of the day will be at 5. I'll put my phone somewhere else. And enjoy my family too. It's a big part of our lives as well, right? So I will find out in 3 months.
Thank
you, Esther. Now it's up to you, Magan.
I know, and my oldest is almost 10, so it's fun. I would say I've learned a lot. And another technique, I always have tips and techniques because I love sharing and leveraging and pivoting that maybe helps somebody, they can help me. I started on my calendar about 4 years ago as I noticed my kids were growing and I needed to be done by a certain time of day to drive to swim practice or music or whatever. I'm driving everywhere now. But what I needed to do is when I had to be done, but I knew I had my core big rocks to accomplish for the day, I started scheduling what I call focus time. So it's called Megan's Focus Time, and my team and they all know what it is, and they know not to touch it. So I may just carve out 45 minutes a day and just say Megan's Focus Time, so that I get, for sure the big rocks done. There's always going to be email, with 200 plus a day. It's like, yes, I will continue unburying myself as I go through it, but I do focus time on my calendar. Another thing that I found interesting that we're navigating now is that we relocated 7 times as a family. And relocation with a baby, I don't want to say it was easy, because it was not easy. I remember I was pulling my hair out, but it was easier than it is as they get older. And that's one thing where my family really appreciates having roots growing down of where we're going to be, because they have friends. They find friends in school, community, they find activities and people they like. And so one challenge that we're navigating now is that we started growing roots in Iowa. And with R&D going through reorganizations and shuffling, it just really limits what that could be. And so that's a challenge that I'm actually overcoming today is what is, in the past, I said relocation, 100%. Yeah, send me back to Switzerland, take me to Europe. I love traveling. It's my husband knows this too. My family, we're wanderlust. We love to travel. And now it's just making me pause to say, what is my relocation percentage? Is it 50%? Is it 100%? What location? And so as the kiddos get older, that's a challenge that we're navigating as a family today, is what does that relocation look like? But otherwise, it was a fun journey. Everybody goes, oh, Megan, you should have more kids. I have 2 daughters. I love having 2 daughters. It's fun. It's great. And my neighbor just had recently, both neighbors had babies. And so that's my baby time, where I get to hold their babies and be like, awesome, you can go back to your mom and dad, and I get to share that with them. But have fun. The biggest advice I could say on the call today is that it goes fast. I feel that I blinked and now I have a 10-year-old. I don't know how it's possible, because I was sucked into industry, I wouldn't tell you how many hours per week, 70, 80, in the field, just living, breathing work. And I probably missed out on milestones, but I wouldn't be able to do what I did without my husband. So key message of this answer I'm going to summarize is your support network is key. Whoever that is, you need to find your support network and lean on them. My husband, after I finished my Ph.D., he has a master's in business and operation logistics, HR. I probably got that right. So he led all of HR for UPS, the Brown Delivery Company, packaging company for the state of North Dakota. After my PhD, he left his 50-hour-a-week job, cold turkey, to be a stay-at-home dad, because he said it is so rare to see female scientists in agriculture and female leaders in agriculture. We need to launch your career. So my husband made a sacrifice and commitment to our family to be a stay-at-home dad right away. And so I wouldn't have been able to do 7 relocations overseas, back stateside, if I didn't have him as my core rock and my pillar, and as just my stable pillar of the family. And so I'm really grateful for everything that he's done. And now with the pandemic, he became a stay-at-home school teacher 2 years ago. And so our girls are homeschooled, and I couldn't do what he does. I have patience. I do STEM activities all the time. I lead STEM camps. I do all that stuff. But my husband goes, well, Megan, they leave after 2 or 3 hours. I was like, oh, he's like, I'm with the girls 8+ hours a day teaching. And so I have an utmost respect for my husband, but find a support network and lean on them. It's okay. You don't have to do it all. I'm stubborn. I always felt that I had to do it all. Like I had to do all the cooking and cleaning, and I had to do all the work. And I delegated that out too, just like I delegate out at work. And together we make a strong team. So find your support network and lean hard on your support network.
Okay, thank you. Jean Torres is asking about what do you like to do in your free time?
Okay.
Sorry.
So I'll say that with a little baby, I don't have much of free time right now. In the future, I'm hoping I will, Megan. But whenever I have some time, I try to read something. Just to keep my mind out of constant work and babies. So I try to read a book that's not related to work, not related to babies. And I actually, I like to cook or bake. That process of preparing food is good for me.
Yeah, I guess, usually reading books, and I like to do cross stitch, which is a very old thing to do, but I enjoy doing it. It's a meditation, I guess, process for me. So I try to do that as much as I can, which is not that much. But on a day-to-day basis, that's what I do.
That's awesome. My husband told me I need to have more hobbies. So my 2022 goal is to find more hobbies of what I like to do. But I love music, so I play piano. I sing at local churches, etc. I really dive into STEM and community outreach as my outlet. That's my night job, because my day job is at Corteva, and so I do a lot of that on the side. I love photography, and my family and we love traveling. And so we love traveling overseas, just exploring new countries and cultures. You could about imagine me in a country where I don't speak the language, but I make friends. I make lots of friends. It's really fun. And they accept me in with my broken, speaking and everything. So it's really awesome. But we love that. And then water parks. I love water slides, swimming pools, everything like that. So we have some fun on the side too, but it's really anything with the family. That's what we do.
Thank you. I think we have to finish. Unfortunately, we have to finish this event today. We are broadcasting almost for 2 hours now, and I would like to ask you if you need a final words for people who are listening to us, please.
Just thank you so much for the invitation. What a pleasure. What an opportunity, to talk to young scientists. Just go and do it. We're all successful in our own ways. So don't think of success and, working here, working there. Don't think of that as a stereotype. You are the owners of your careers, of what you're going to be doing. So just, again, believe in yourself and go do it. It's going to be wonderful.
Yeah, be excited for the future. Sometimes it's hard to see the path. As I showed, we don't really know, even though you kind of try to plan a career and you say, oh, maybe I want to do this, I want to do that. I didn't think I would be exactly here. And here I am, and I'm loving it. So just be excited about the future. Things will get in place.
Yeah, and I would just say thank you for this opportunity. These are true energy boosters. I really enjoyed today teaming up with these amazing female scientists on the call today. My biggest advice is to be you, your most genuine, authentic, quirky, fun, different, unique self. Because when you activate your best version, others will activate their best versions. And I did see the dolphin comment. So to wrap it up, I will do my dolphin sound really quick, Professor, if that's okay, because I did get LinkedIn messages about that as well. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a really great opportunity to have you all here. It was an amazing time, and hopefully we can do it again anytime soon. Okay? Thank you so much. Thank you, Ganho Genético, for this opportunity.